Welcome to Balanced Bodybuilding Radio. I am your host, Leemarie. I am a glam girl bikini and lifestyle coach, and I am here with my coach and my co-host.
Hey guys, it's Amy Enger, founder and CEO of Glam Girl Bikini.
And today's topic, this is episode 2. Our topic today is 10 tips for maintaining a healthy lifestyle and body weight. I am super excited to dive into this topic for both bikini competitors in their improvement season and for lifestyle clients. So just living your day to day, being a little more healthy, maintaining a healthy body weight. But first, I just wanted to start with something fun today. So we're going to start with a random question of the day. And this is one that I thought of, but we would love to include listener questions. So if you have a question for us, please shoot us a DM you can go on Instagram at Balanced Bodybuilding Radio, or you can go onto YouTube. You can watch this episode on YouTube at Glam Girl Bikini and leave us a question in the comments. So my question for you, Amy, is if you could choose any food and make it 0 calorie, what would you pick?
Team ice cream all the way.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew it. I love that. I have such a sweet tooth, but I feel like I have perfected over the years a way to get that sweet tooth satisfied with high protein stuff. And so I would choose nuts. I would do nuts
Okay.
and nut butters.
I thought you were gonna say protein bars. You're like the protein bar queen connoisseur.
I can make those fit. I mean, I can't eat
that's
as many
true.
as I want, but
Yeah.
big nuts. Okay, so I Googled 10 tips for maintaining healthy lifestyle and body weight, and there's so many different articles, but this one is really cool. And I just thought it'd be fun to just go through the tips and kind of give our own take on it. So this article comes from the Fairbanks School of Public Health, and I'm going to butcher his name, but the author is Yiking Song, and he's a professor of epidemiology.
Epidemiology.
Thank you.
Yes.
So
you did well with his name though.
I had to Google what it meant, but it's a branch of medicine that deals with incidence, distribution, and possible control of diseases and other factors related to health. So real important stuff here.
Yeah, I think a lot of epidemiology students and people that work in that field were very busy over COVID because that's one of the prime things that they work on is like disease and all that.
Yeah, but I love that this is more on having a healthy lifestyle so that when stuff like COVID comes, we're more prepared to, like, we have a healthy immune system already and we don't have to start putting these things into place after the fact. So
definitely.
Okay, so number 1 is measure and watch your weight. And so how would you say this is really important for competitors in their improvement season?
Yeah, I think it's just good to monitor for the data in terms of just whatever, season of life you're in. If you're a lifestyle, person as well, it's good accountability. As long as it doesn't mess with your head when you see the scale fluctuate. For me, it actually gives me more peace of mind in terms of like if I'm on my period and if I'm PMS, I'll gain like 3 to 5 pounds, but then I hit like a new low after it starts. So it just helps me understand my body when there is a one-off. Like for example, if I was just weighing myself during my check-in, that would be really discouraging if that was the one-off day that it was super high.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it does. I think it's good to be aware if you are one of those people that it gets in your head. I have to watch myself because if I get on the scale and it's higher than I want it to be, I can't let that set my mood for the day. And I kind of just have to have a tough love talk with myself because the reason, especially lifestyle, but even in improvement season, the reason I think that we avoid daily weighing is we don't want to have that honesty check. Like, have you been following your program? Have you been sneaking those tiny little licks and bites that do add up? Have you been going as hard at the gym as you need to be. And I just definitely think it's a little bit of a tough love thing, but it's so important to have that data and to be able to regulate your emotions so that you don't, because if your day is dictated or your mood by what the scale says, there's something deeper going on that you need to address. Because whether you're succeeding in your plan and making progress or not, it has nothing to do with your worth as a person.
Good point. Yeah. And I mean, so many things affect the weight fluctuations. Like if you didn't get good sleep on the weekends, my weight goes to all-time lows because I can actually sleep in. I'm not waking up early to like get my kids around and get to the gym. I mean, your weight can fluctuate if you haven't had bowel movements. So it's good to have like that mindset that this isn't, something that should affect me or make me feel determine my worth or the way that I feel about my body. But it's just data that I'm collecting so that I understand and know and stay accountable. So number 2 is limit unhealthy foods and eat healthy meals. So I just think, when it comes to terming foods like unhealthy or healthy, there's a bit of a, disconnect there. Cause I mean, I think everybody can eat certain foods as long as it gives them good energy. So I always try to avoid like saying like something's healthy or unhealthy or bad or good, because then that limits kind of like it just makes our mindset shift to, kind of like a bad boy mentality, or at least it does for me. So I think just keeping in mind what makes your body run the most efficiently and looking at food like that. So, for example, I have clients that have autoimmune disease and they cannot eat like any kind of inflammatory foods like sugar, gluten, dairy. It will give them a flare up. So they're eating for their health in this case. And for them, that's healthy. But for somebody else, those foods could be healthy to them if they don't have a sensitivity to that. As long as they're eating it in the portions and the calculated way that's right for their goals and their body. So I guess that's kind of, I know that they're probably alluding to the fact that these are like obesogenic foods, like ones that are high in both carbs and fats, which are both of our energy sources. Those foods tend to be very calorie dense, very highly palatable. So I think that that's what they're trying to say here is just like, look for more nutrient dense foods that have, like good fiber, good micronutrients. They're good for your gut, stuff like that. So yeah, number 2, that's my take on that. How about you?
Yeah, I like that. I think back to your point with like listing foods as good or bad, I think that really does play into an all or nothing mindset where when you're doing good, you only eat good foods like, vegetables and protein and maybe, some complex carbs. And then if you're being bad, then you only eat pizza and chips and the higher fat, higher carbs kind of food. And it's these two extremes. And what we're looking for on this podcast is the balance. So the balance, like what I love that they put limit unhealthy foods and eat healthy meals. So for your meals, if you focus most of your meals on, those whole foods, those lean proteins, those healthy fats, get plenty of vegetables, fiber in, then you can fit those snacks, those fun treats in and still maintain your healthy weight. You can feel good. You feel so much better when you have most of your food in the whole natural, healthy, giving your body nutrients. And then you want to include some of the other fruits for just enjoyment of life, especially if you're, lifestyle or in an improvement season, because when you jump into prep, you're not going to have that option a lot of the time.
Yeah, or your budget's just a little bit trimmer. So in terms of like calorie budget, so if you think about like your bank account, like your calorie number, if you have a lot to spend in your bank account, then you can kind of incorporate lots of different things and have a lot more flexibility. But when the budget gets tighter, it's important to make sure that you're not only like supporting muscle growth and satiation, but you're also kind of giving your body foods that will give you the proper amount of nutrients to perform best in the gym. So yeah. Number 3 is take multivitamin supplements. So as always, nutrition is king. I feel like if you were to look at it as a pyramid, supplements would be on the top tier of the pyramid. They're the ones that have the least amount of impact when it comes to like your foundations of eating right, exercising, working on movement, things like that, stress reduction, sleep. Multivitamin probably comes in last. But it is good for filling in nutritional gaps where they may be deficient. So if we look at, the produce from the 1950s till now, the farms have been overcropping, you know, different types of vegetables and fruits, and the products aren't the same. They don't have the same amount of density and the nutrients as they did back in the day till now. So I think, filling in those gaps in order to stay within your calorie budget is really important, because if you were to eat like 50 apples, then you maybe get like the amount of nutrients there, but that's not realistic, right? To kind of like stick with your physique goals. So yeah, getting in the nutritional gaps is important.
That's a really good point. Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say the same thing for lifestyle too. I think most importantly, especially if you are a lifestyle, get a variety and think about your whole week, not just a day. Think about variety of fruits and vegetables and over a whole week, and getting different types and not getting stuck on, I only eat green beans. Well, at least I'm eating green beans. Like, get a variety, buy different types of vegetables and try different ways of making them, make them taste good, and get that variety of nutrients first. And then if you want to take the multivitamin, heck yeah, just make sure you get a good quality multivitamin.
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
so 4 is drink water, stay hydrated, and limit sugary beverages. So this one's super important. I think as a majority of people, we do not drink enough water. Whenever I ask a client, okay, how much water do you drink? Whenever I'm intaking a new client, I always get one of two answers. It's either, oh, I drink water all day long, or not nearly enough. But no one has been able to tell me how many ounces they actually drink a day. So we're not
Interesting.
actually tracking how much water we drink unless they are, already a competitor or have done a program or something like that. But usually if we don't keep track of how much we're drinking, we're probably not drinking enough. And I know the recommendation has been half of your body weight in ounces. We actually recommend more, for competitors, even up to your body weight in ounces can be something that we recommend. But I do know, especially if you're exercising every day, if you're doing some cardio, if you're sweating, if you're losing, liquid through sweat, you definitely want to be drinking more than half your body weight in ounces.
Yeah, and I believe the medical model actually recommends 1 ounce per body weight as well.
Does it now?
I believe so.
I don't know where I heard half your body weight in ounces, but I don't think that's enough.
Yeah, definitely not if you live in a hot climate where you, like you said, you're sweating, so you're losing it that way. And then if you drink any sort of caffeinated beverage, that's a diuretic. So basically you're peeing out a lot of your fluids, and sometimes we'll substitute, because it's a liquid, a caffeinated beverage instead of drinking water. And then that really puts you behind, because it's almost like a negative. It's pulling your hydration away with the caffeine. And then you're kind of replacing that with a glass of water or whatever you would have. You would have a coffee instead. And then on the sugary beverages side, there's so many types of drinks that taste so good. I mean, for me, like, I love my diet root beer, A&W. It tastes so creamy, and it does not, I mean, it's 0 calories, and it does not feel like I'm drinking a sugary, it seems like it's a sugar, it should have sugar in it of some sorts, but it doesn't. And then there's just like so many different, like, as I'm drinking my LaCroix, those of you that are watching on YouTube, this is my new obsession, limoncello. I love it. Yeah, sparkling water is 0 calories. It has that carbonation and a little bit of natural flavors in it. So you really don't, I mean, there's nothing in that that's, you don't have to just drink plain water. You don't have to slug a gallon and carry it around. To your point, you do need to measure it, but you can have fun with your beverages for sure.
Yeah. I would say these days there's not really any reason to drink your calories. They have
Hmm.
so many good tasting options, and I feel like they get better every year. And I feel like sometimes I'm even drinking something and I have to check the calories just to make sure
I
because
know.
it's
That's so,
good. Zero
it's so
calories.
true. Yeah, like at a restaurant, I'm like, is this
Wait.
diet? I'm like, it doesn't taste like it.
I
Uh,
remember I knew somebody that he needed to lose weight, but he literally made one change. He switched, and I don't know how much soda he drank, but he switched to diet soda. That's the only change he made, and he lost 30 pounds in a month.
wow, that's
That's
incredible.
crazy. And if I mean that's an easy switch. Just make the switch. Start drinking some
Yes,
plain water. So that's a
definitely. Chew your macros. Okay. So number 5 is exercise regularly and be physically active. So whatever way this looks like for you, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. If you want to do like a home workout, a video on YouTube, you don't have to go to the gym if you're intimidated by that. You can get outside and walk. Just daily movement is so important. And um, yeah, I mean, that's definitely one that I think is one of the foundations. Like I talked about, like nutrition's probably that bottom of the pyramid, and exercise and regular activity is right there, especially in preventing like heart disease and things like that. So,
Absolutely. I mean, our bodies were made to move. We have more energy if we move. And in this society, we just sit all day long and we stare at screens, and that's not no wonder we don't have any energy. If you get out and you get into the sunlight, you move your body, you're going to have more energy, you'll get more oxygen in. And then there's so many studies too on resistance training. So whether it's lifting weights, using bands, using your own body weight for especially as we age and especially women as we age. So going through, perimenopause, menopause, all of those things for healthy, keeping your muscles from deteriorating, keeping your bones strong and healthy, keeping your hormones healthy, giving you, all the benefits for that are listed under like resistance training as well. Even if it's body weight resistance, that you can do it, things that you can do at home. So I think that's really important. Whether you are obviously, if you're in the improvement season, you're going to the gym, but for lifestyle, don't overcomplicate it. Get outside, get a walk in, and then do some body weight exercises at home. Just get started. Do something. Something is always better than nothing.
yeah, 2 minutes is better than zero.
Yeah, exactly.
Start
And if
somewhere.
you do, you'll probably end up doing 5.
Yeah, definitely.
So I love
Yeah. So it kind of segues into number 6 because you had mentioned we sit a lot and have a lot of screen time. So as far as that goes, just chronic disease is on the rise because of these issues. People not getting out and moving and sitting. So I think, just consider like taking breaks throughout the day. If you, especially if you have a job, like right now we're sitting, we're looking at a screen. That's a lot of our job. As online coaches, I will periodically get up, walk on the treadmill while I'm doing a call, or I'll go out, walk my dog for 5 minutes just to get some fresh air and some sunshine.
I think too, if you have like an office job, typically you will have a lunch break. So use your lunch break. Don't eat through work or eat in the car. I'm guilty of doing that. Take your break. If you can, get outside to eat, and then take a 5-minute walk after your meal. Those are great things to get up and move yourself around. I also tell my girls that are my clients that have the office jobs, if you're drinking a gallon of water a day, you're going to have to get up probably every hour in the hour just to use the bathroom. So specifically
True.
walk to the farthest one, get some steps in. I think tracking my steps has been a real eye opener for me. Just being aware of how much I'm moving around and how that affects my weight. It's crazy. My non-exercise activity, so not the gym. I could go to the gym and work out for 2 hours and then sit all day, or I could get up and move around, get my steps in, and it's going to have a huge impact on my weight. But then also my mood and my mobility, my soreness, things like that too. But then I think too, the screen time has a huge impact on the next number, which is number 7, get enough good sleep.
Yeah. So
Because
I'm wearing my blue light blockers.
hey,
I also have, yeah, I have glasses on right now. If you're watching on YouTube, obviously you know that. But if you're listening, so I do have a prescription, but when I'm staring at a screen a lot, it's stimulation, and for your eyes, you want to make sure that you're keeping your circadian rhythms in a good spot. So I think that's why it's always good to like get sunlight and expose yourself to that. And then the hour before bed, just making sure that you don't have screen time. You're putting your phone on do not disturb, so you're not getting stimulation. That way your melatonin can start getting produced and you start winding down for bed, whether that be like reading a book. I read a book, foam roll, take a hot bath, different activities, just kind of wind down so that I get good quality sleep and I'm not getting stimulated that hour before rest.
yeah, I think that is, I don't think we give sleep enough credit at all in this day and age, and especially in our culture. I think it's the one that gets put on the back burner. And if we're going through like the pyramid, I mean, food, nutrition, exercise, sleep's got to be one of those important pillars in that pyramid. And if we don't get enough sleep, our health in general, not just body fat goals, weight loss, everything like that, our health in general is not going to be optimal. And so make that investment. I think something like sleep isn't glamorous. Staying up late and like
Mhm.
hustling and drinking the caffeine and pushing hard through, that's glamorous, at least it seems like it. But sleep is more of a long-term investment, making sure that you get the amount of sleep that your body needs. Some people need more than others, 7 to 8 hours. I do better on 9 to 10 hours, so just depending on you, like, make sure to prioritize that and think long term health and benefits on that
Absolutely.
one.
All right. Well, we're going to keep this brief. We hit that 30-minute mark, and we sure appreciate all of the support we've gotten so far, just about after episode 1. And we just love hearing from you guys. So if you can, let us know how we're doing. Like Leemarie said, if you have questions or anything regarding topics that you want us to include, and then let us know what you thought of this episode. So
Yeah, and so make sure to go to our Instagram page, follow us at Bodybuilding Radio, and then check us out on YouTube at Glam Girl. And then my handle is Leemarie183. Amy's handle is Amy Anger. And leave us a DM, drop us a question, and share this episode with a friend. And we'll talk to you next time.
thanks for listening, guys.